Danny and I are like, wow, it's a girl, and look at her, she's beautiful, she's perfect.
Delaney.
She was so fun. She loved to dance, loved music, loved books, loved her brother.
You know, they basically grew up together the whole time, and that was his little sister. And all of a sudden one day she's not there anymore, and he doesn't know why. It was a cleft palate surgery, and we were looking forward to the fact that she was going to be able to say daddy, because cleft palate, their tongue can't hit the roof of their mouth, so they can't say daddy. So it was like, you know, in there, hour surgery, comes home the next morning, big deal. Kind of didn't turn out that way.
I hear code blue for where she, in her unit. And I said to the nurse, please tell me what's wrong with her. This isn't fair. Somebody has to tell me, you know. And she said, all I can tell you is, do you believe in God? And I said, yeah. And she said, then you need to pray. Her heart had stopped, but they brought her back. She was brain dead. So I looked at him and I said, so she's on life support? And he said, yeah. So I went to Danny, we went over to her bedside, and I just said to him, we can't keep her this way. And so I just sat there and held her and sang, you know, songs to her. And
you know, I wanted answers. I wanted to know, you know, first why they were covering it up and how she died. We still didn't know how she died. We didn't have a clue.
Then you start to find out that they've put up their walls and that they're not, you have to get a lawyer.
I called some attorneys, and one attorney didn't call me back when he found the circumstances out. The other attorney says to me, that's a $250,000 case. And then they didn't want to do it. And I'm like, what are they talking about, $250,000 case?
He starts to explain to you the MICRA cap and how it's $250.
I mean, I'm naive. I think there's going to be answers, and we're going to get all the answers we need, and there's going to be some kind of justice done. But actually, the MICRA was a hindrance on anything, because no one thought it was a large enough amount of money to bother with a, you know, little girl that died.
Where's my peekaboo?
You can't even imagine what losing a child would be like. But it's not about money, it's about accountability. The breathing tube was misplaced.
The radiology department, there was no one on to read her chest x-rays.
The machine that monitors her breathing was telling them that she wasn't breathing. They thought it was broken, they turned it off, and they didn't replace it. They had given her like 7 shots of this paralyzing drug that they weren't even supposed to give her at all. She had her whole life ahead of her. She has nothing now.
Good morning. Good morning. They call these jackpot lawsuits. What kind of jackpot is that? I lost my child. You know, how dare you say that my child is worth $250,000? Is yours?